What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and this is the NHL franchise mode series with the Nebraska Bucks as we get into the 2028-2029 season. It's going to be a big one because we are Stanley Cup champs, and we are looking to bounce back. We have a bunch of problems right now with some contracts in which we are going to get to here in today's episode, as well as get through the first half of the season. But if you guys did miss the last episode, I'll drop a card in the top right hand corner so you guys can go ahead and check that out so you're all caught up to date on the squad. And I actually did go ahead and fill our coaching vacancies. I actually went ahead and signed Anze Kopitar to an assistant coach role at the NHL level. I thought that would be pretty cool to bring him in, as well as we got an AHL goalie coach who was actually a C minus, who we honestly could promote over our NHL goalie coach. She is awesome, but that is the coaching lineup right there. Keith Yandel, Jay Bouwmeester, the coaches down in the AHL. So really exciting stuff there. But we got some interesting things going on right now, guys, because as of right now, Ahonen is still a restricted free agent. And there's no end in sight for actually being able to sign him, because our cap is just not working out, and I really don't want to trade Scheifele, even though it is his last year. I want to try and milk him for maybe one more year, because he's been one of our top players, and he is making 12.5, and there's just nobody who we can really trade him for to possibly get cap room and then move some things around to get some trades going. So I'm going to keep the lineup as is right now, and I feel like our defense is pretty good. Our bottom pair there obviously could be a little bit better, but I brought up Julien, our first round draft pick from 2 seasons ago, to play some defense, as Lautner and Sandin will be that top pair, Tavares, Tikhonov, and then Julien and Rudder. So I feel pretty confident with that. So I don't feel as if Ahonen has done enough for us either, in the long run, because he just hasn't produced as to what I thought he would when it comes to points, and what I thought he would do at the age of 25. As you guys can see right here, total points, he doesn't even have 50 goals. He's put up 205 points in 452 games. His plus minus is extremely good, but it's just not enough for me to actually want to keep him at 86 overall, because he is wanting $5 million for 1 year, which is actually crazy. So what I want to do is send him in a trade. I feel like we could maybe snipe a first round draft pick out of it, but the thing is, we want to try and make sure we get a pretty low team for him. And I know the Golden Knights were actually struggling last year. I believe they might have gotten one of the top picks in the draft, as they've got some players here. Their first round draft pick is just not worth that much for next year. It's going to be tough to tell, but we're going to go for their first round draft pick. And let's throw in our boy Ahonen in here. Again, this is a massive trade. Oh, Vegas would have more skaters. So we actually also need to get a skater out of this, which I don't think we're going to be able to do so, just with all the cap room that we literally don't have. Can they retain some of his salary? Wow, they're not going to be able to. So, man, we're gonna have to shop elsewhere for a first round pick here, because Vegas is just not going to be the team to make that trade with. So let's take a look. Who else? I know Vancouver struggled a little bit. St. Louis is kind of on the struggle bus. Islanders, maybe no. Maybe Nashville. They are not looking the best. Let's actually take a look here at their draft picks. Their first round pick is pretty high value as well. So let's throw our boy Ahonen. We've got 2/3 next year, so maybe we can try and change that into a second round pick and then maybe get another first rounder. But let's go ahead. Ahonen again. I really don't want to trade him, but at the same time, we're not going to be able to sign him. It's not going to work. So let's get a first and let's say a 5th round pick for it. Let's see if this trade goes through, and the trade is accepted. So we get a first and a fifth for Ahonen. We get him out of the squad. He's no longer our problem. He's with the Nashville Predators, and we get another first-round pick for this upcoming draft, which, again, don't have a lot of info about yet. I've already submitted the scouts, sent them out, so they're in the process of scouting, but we could possibly replace him with this Daniel Como. Again, it's going to depend on draft lottery and getting lucky and things of that nature, but you know, I'm happy with that trade. Again, always tough losing a player that you drafted so high and was highly touted, but just with the whole restricted free agency and the way our cap is set right now, it's just it wasn't going to work. And you know, I thank him for everything he's done for the club. He's done great things. He's won a couple cups with us, so he could take that experience on and maybe help Nashville out in the long run here, as we are running through the preseason here, as we're 4-2. Not terrible. I think our goaltenders are going to be what's going to be the trouble this year with the squad, because Carter Hart is down to an 81 overall, so his sim is just hasn't been the best at all. So let's actually go ahead, simulate through this first month of the season, October, and then we'll take a look here at stats and maybe how the goalies are doing, and possibly look to get a trade. Downing's been hurt at the AHL level, but we'll get some more depth players in the lineup. 2-1 to start the season. Big loss there to the Colorado Avalanche, which they're going to definitely be a tough opponent this year, trying to get out of the Western Conference, as Montreal really on the struggle bus as well. More trade offers there, but 3-1 so far to start the season. Subban is back to go in the lineup for our AHL squad. Win there against the Devils, a win against the Lightning. Big game there against the Coyotes, and we actually win 5-2, which is kind of crazy. I wasn't really expecting the team to do this well to start off the season, especially with our goaltending not being the best. But we're on a tear right now. We've got a 5-game winning streak heading into this end of October. Take a look at team leaders. Volchenkov leading the way there in goals. And the Preds are one of the lower teams in the NHL. Obviously not the Sharks or the Sabres, but they're down there. So definitely a good trade to maybe get a lottery pick. Let's take a look. I want to take a look at our goalies to make sure that they are playing well and have pretty decent stats. So let's go ahead, take a look at goalies here. Carter Hart, I mean, oh, thank God, he's up to an 86. I don't know why the overalls just go around so crazy, but he's got a 924 save percentage with 203 goals against. That is awesome. Let's check out our AHL. Hunter Jones down there, 77 overall. We also got Bendar there, 77. He's 6-3. He's got a 917. So goalie's not really an issue, which is great. First month of the season. Check out all skaters again. Volchenkov, Scheifele, Tippett, Suzuki. So our top players getting the job done so far in this simulation. So really happy to see that. Again, really happy to see Carter Hart up to an 86. I was really concerned there that we weren't going to be able to get anything out of him, as we're going to hop into the month of November here, as we actually lose our 5-game winning streak there to the Flyers in overtime, but get back to winning things against the Canucks and Blue Jackets, as we've got a home game here coming up against the Boston Bruins, and we end up winning 6-3 and come back winning 6-2 against the Winnipeg Jets. So team is starting off very strong, 11-1, make that 12-1 now, as Richie is going to be injured till November 16th with a concussion. So tough to lose him. Always tough losing a third-line player. But let's take a look at Scratched. We've got Patan, who we can throw in. He is a playmaker. And he does get the +1 there on that third line. So we'll let him roll. Finally giving him a shot at the NHL, as he's been doing great things down at the AHL level. But Richie's back, so we'll give Patan here a few games with the big boys here at the AHL level. Graps is out, so we got to replace him big win there against the Blackhawks. Penguins are actually turning things around, but we absolutely slaughter them. 9-2. Game here against the Dallas Stars. Ooh, Janssen. Oh, broken leg. He's out until February 1st. That's massive. That is actually a massive hit to the squad. As can Richie play on that third line? He doesn't really get the plus that I want. So we'll have to move Daniel Sprong up. Man, that really does suck. So we're going to have to leave Patan in the lineup. He's got 3 points in 4 games, so not terrible. Sprong is going to have to step up here because he's going to have to roll in that second line until February, which is going to be tough to deal with here. Man, that is a big loss, losing Janssen there. But we've got guys in the lineup that can maybe turn some things around and see what they can do on the offensive side of things. So we'll see if Daniel Sprong plays big, plays well on that top line as we're moving some things around here for 4-on-4 action. I want to make sure that we have our best players in the lineups there, which we've got. So we'll continue on with the simulation. Again, losing Janssen is a tough blow. Great second line player as we bounce back with a win there against the Wild. Lautner's injured. He's out until February 26th now. So that's a big loss. Oh man. Losing our top defenseman really does hurt. But we'll have to throw Savari into the lineup. Tinkanoff does get the +3, but Rudder, let's get Tinkanoff there on that top pair. And then we'll throw Rudder there with Tavares. Rudder's actually up to an 83, Tinkanoff 86. So we're going to have to roll with that here till February, which is tough, but we continue winning. Big loss there to the Toronto Maple Leafs, but right now the boys are absolutely buzzing. Suzuki, 37 points in 22 games. That's really nice to see. We're sitting at the top of the division and actually at the top of the NHL. Let's make sure the Predators are still struggling. They're down there, so it'll be a battle for them to possibly get a lottery pick. Let's take a look at goaltending again. Make sure that they are doing well. I know the team, Volchenkov, Scheifele, Tippett, Suzuki, Vasilinen. Again, losing Janssen does really suck, that second line player, but Carter Hart, 18-3-1, absolutely mental stats. Tucker Tynan not getting a lot of action, but the action he has gotten is not the best. So Carter Hart definitely pushing for some hardware, which, speaking of hardware, I know I've forgotten to do this for this past year, but we're going to look at the awards now. Obviously, won the Stanley Cup. Won the President's Trophy and the Western Conference for the 4th straight year, which is really cool to see. Florida getting it done there in the East, as well as Tampa the year before. Let's take a look at individual awards. Austin Matthews with the Art Ross Hart Memorial. Cale Makar winning his first Norris Trophy. Stamkos winning the Lady Byng for the second time in his past 5 years. Calder went to the McIntyre for the Winnipeg Jets. Vasilinen winning the Conn Smythe. DiPietro won the Vezina. Jennings went to Leonard. Masterson went to Devereaux. Humphrey for the Vancouver Canucks getting the Jack Adams. Pettersson winning the Selke Trophy for the 2nd straight year. Matthews with the Ted Lindsay and the Rocket Richard Trophy. So crazy good year for him. Let's take a look at the AHL for individual awards. Young Croak looking like he's winning a lot of hardware. Nothing for AHL, it looks like, for individual awards, but team awards, obviously we lost the Calder to the Milwaukee Admirals. We didn't even win the regular season champs or the Eastern Conference, and it looks like the only trophy our AHL team won was the North Division, as well as the Eastern Conference playoff champ. So pretty cool stuff there. Obviously want to make sure things are going well down at the AHL, and they're actually having a struggling a little bit there, struggling this year with points. It looks like, as we've got weird lineups here. that I kind of want to get those best lines for the AHL, make sure we get things going in the right direction down at the AHL. I don't want them struggling too much, as we want to get our young guns on those top pairs as best as possible. That shouldn't have messed up anything with the NHL, which it didn't, so that is good stuff there. I want to take a look at Kaznetzoff. He's got 13 points in 22 games, so not too terrible, honestly, for a third line or fourth line centerman. As we get into this last month of the simulation here, again, riddled with injuries are the Nebraska Bucks, but we're still plugging along here, still chugging at really doing well. So we'll simulate here through the month of December. Roster management going on here. Lost there to the Sharks, and Jalen Calder, we could claim him off waivers. He does have a two-way contract, and I feel like that is exactly a player that we could use down in the AHL and maybe shake some things up down there with the squad, as we are 1-2 in our past 2 games, which really does suck. But we've got some goaltender injuries. Julien is also going to be out for a little bit till December 12th, so only a few days out for him. But I don't think we have any backup defensemen other than him at the AHL level. Who is scratched? We've got Haisha, so we're going to have to throw him into the lineup. Give him some playing time until he can get back. Win there against the Senators, so we get our 20th win of the season. Edmonton not doing the best so far, 13-11, and we actually lose to them. So tough way to lose that game to them, but it is what it is. We got another loss back-to-back there against Edmonton, and then the Rangers. Game against Buffalo, we get back to our winning ways. We beat the Golden Knights. Can we get a win here against the Islanders? Rudder, oh, he's going to be injured until December 23rd, so we're going to have to edit the lineups here once again and get some things mixed around. Haisha is going to have to stay in the lineup, and Rudder, or Julien, is going to have to go back down there to the third pair. So we've got that sorted out. Lost there to the Islanders. We've got some more injuries down there in the AHL. We've been riddled with injuries this year for all of our players, as we get a big win there against the Kings. We're getting some guys back from injury, it looks like, for the AHL squad, which we could definitely throw them in. 2 big wins there, one against the Avalanche and one against the Hurricanes. As we're going to do best lines here for the AHL, and then we'll have to shake some things up. We'll get that Calder guy in the lineup, which is nice to see him getting some playing time here. Akers, we'll put him there. Uduya, I have to leave him there. And then Downing, I don't want Downing there on that bottom pair. We'll put him on the top. And then Andrew Chuck, can we maybe move him around? We cannot. Let's check the defense there for AHL. It looks like we've got our best lines there. And then let's check, make sure our goaltenders are set. Hunter Jones back in. So we'll continue on there with the AHL, make sure they're buzzing along. Lost there to the Montreal Canadiens. Downing's been injured. As we get to the end of the simulation for today's episode, win there against the Devils and a win against the Tampa Bay Lightning to close things out. So let's take a look here, midway point in the season. The Predators are at the bottom of the division, which is really nice. Obviously, they're not doing too terrible. They're still in the hunt there for a whatchamacallit, lottery pick. Having a hard time trying to speak there. Scheifele, 48 points in 37 games, which is really nice to see. And where are we? I didn't even look where we were at. We're sitting at the top of the division with 55 points. And it looks like that is tied with the Maple Leafs for the NHL lead for the President's Trophy. So going for that third straight President's Trophy is going to be definitely, it's going to be a tough task to do so, especially with all the injuries we've been going through. But take a look here at team points. Scheifele, Suzuki tied there with 48. Tippett playing very well, 46 points. Vasilinen having a down year, I would say, with 44. Volchenkov, 41. Sandin having a really good year with 23 points. Byfield, Richie, Kuznetsov, 20 and 37. That is very good for a fourth-line player. Let's take a look at the goaltenders here. Carter Hart, 27-9-1. He's got great stats, putting up great numbers, and that's going to be fighting for the Vezina for sure. Let's take a look at the AHL. Hunter Jones not having the best of years. This Kim Franzen kid actually putting up very decent numbers. Let's take a look at all skaters down there. Jakob Forsback Carlson doing very well. Andrew Chuck Lazar, some guys that we brought in are doing well as well. They are back above 500, which is nice to see. Let's see where they are sitting right now in the standings, and they're climbing back, so they're pushing to make playoffs, which is good to see. And I do want to switch some things up in between the pipes. It looks like Hunter Jones is just really not working out this year between the pipes, so we will make Bendar the starter, and we're actually going to pull Hunter Jones for Franzen. Get the young kid in there. We did draft him 3rd round. His potential is backup medium, but he's put up some pretty decent stats this year, so want to give him a shout. We'll get Bendar in there, getting him some time between the pipes. See if maybe that will turn some things around for the AHL. Let's actually take a look here now at the draft class and see what our scouts have found out. And we've got some snipers on the top of the board here. This Como kid looks like he is going to be a great player. Bobby Hall style, which is kind of crazy. Patrick Kane style, Mika Koivu. So the top 3 picks are definitely going to be gems for sure. This elite defenseman, Victor Hedman, that could be a shout if we get lucky with a lottery pick this year. But let's go actually now take a look at contracts and see what we've got for those. Again, Vassalainen is going to be up next year, as well as Scheifele. We've got Byfield and Janssen. So we've got some big-time players to deal with. We've got Sprong and Ritchie. We've got Kraus, and that is going to be Patan and Savari. So those guys I'm not too worried about. But we don't have a lot of... Actually, we'll have a lot of cap. We'll have $40 million in cap. And what does Vassalainen want right now? He wants $11 million. Let's take a look at Scheifele. Scheifele is going to want 9 for 1 year. That is quite a lot. Byfield is actually asking for a very cheap deal, $6 million. And what is he making right now? He's already making $6 million, so that's not even that much of an ask. Let's see if we can get him down to what he's pretty much making right now. Let's actually bump it up a little bit, give him a little bit of a pay bump. 6.2, I feel like is a great offer for him. Janssen's making 4. He's going to want 7. That's a big pay bump for him. Let's take a look at our depth players here. Sprong, he wants only $3 million, which we might be able to get that down to 2.8, but Ritchie wants a lot. That might not work for him, but Sprong would actually work, and we can get that down to 2.8, I feel like, and save some money on him. We'll hear back from them in the next episode. I don't want to simulate any further, but I feel like getting their deals done now, while they're asking for a little bit less of money, I feel like is a great bargain, especially Sprong at 2.8, 84 overall, and then Byfield we offered 6.2 for, I believe it was 4 years, so that is a great deal. Again, Vassalainen, we'll most likely have to pay him the big bucks. But Scheifele, man, that's going to be the point where maybe we could go out and get a free agent centerman, because we've got Suzuki and Byfield who are playing great, and they'll most likely upgrade throughout the season into next year and maybe hit even 90 and 80, 89 overall, which would be huge. But now I actually am intrigued to see if the Nashville Predators signed our boy Ahonen, and if he's actually playing for them right now. So they're not the best. They did sign Ahonen. He is playing on that first line, and he's having a massive down year. So honestly, I feel like that was the right move. We get their first round pick and a 5th round pick for next year's draft. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like on this video. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.